Let me ask you a few questions. How many of you are super grateful about your life? Imagine this. Everybody wants to be amazingly blessed. And they want to be receiving all the things that you ever need and want. Correct? Yet, I want you to think of one career in the whole wide world right now. The person or people who are always receiving and getting from other people. And which of these dream job can you think of? The career that you are out there and you're always only receiving. And you get everything from everyone. And you get the sympathy, you get everything from everyone, including money. A beggar. People always sympathize those people, and people always want to look the worst that they can be so they can get a few bucks. Does that make sense? And those are the people who will live in that life path unless they change. And how do you change that? Through the thoughts. Very good. That's a very powerful thing. Yet, the simplest form of change is easier than you think. Start giving. Instead of receiving, start giving. Instead of sitting down and asking for all the donations and money and help and sympathy and everything, stand up and walk up to anything and anyone and start doing something creative, constructive to help other people. I emphasize only one thing and one thing only in your life and my life and our next generation's life, which is called you reflect on the things that you have done good for other people. Appreciation, happy, healthy, and be helpful to other people. Just by doing this, you will change your life from this point right here, the path that you've been walking all throughout your whole life will be literally changed on a dime. It will pivot on a line. Imagine this. Let's say that I'm looking at you right now at this position and I'm going to walk towards you for a year, 10 years, 20 years, all my life. Yet, I'm going to pivot myself a little bit, 1 degree to either left or right, and walk on that path for all my life. Where I end up will be totally different than what would it been. Does that make sense? Yeah. Everybody dreams of a destination where that you want to be really rich. You want to have everything. You want to have the perfect body. Yet, let me tell you this, that is what you think. But what you truly think is totally different than what superficially you think. You really want something even better than done to yourself. You want something done to your children. I call it the 1% miracle. 1% is all it takes. 1%. Now imagine this. Let's say that you're making $1,000, $100 a month. Okay, a month. And you donate that $1. Let's say that you have 24 hours. You donate that 1% of your 24 hours. You have thoughts and you just donate that 1%. Not for your own self, but for others, for next generation, which happen to be, those other people are your family anyway. I always emphasize the fact that I have children. And who am I to say that my children will not marry your children? And all of a sudden we become a family. And all of a sudden we have our lovely granddaughter, grandson, that we would do anything and everything for them. Why can't we start now? Does it make sense? Yep. Everybody wants to be literally, believe it or not, 95% of every human being on the face of the earth concentrate on financial gains. Everybody dreams and prays for millions of dollars in their bank account. Let me ask you one thing. What are you going to do with the money? Do you know why the world, the universe is not giving you that money? Because you're going to waste it. The first thing that everybody who wins the jackpot is stop what they were doing and go on a trip. Spending money on their ego sense, buying a house, car, and this and that and everything. Correct? Yeah. Now you're wasting. And because you're not deserving that amount of energy, that energy is going to destroy you. You have a little plastic bag and going around and say, hey, you know what? Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And because the universe sympathizes you, it decides to give you a tons of money. And here you go, hold it. Yet your plastic bag just rips. And not only you're wasting it, now you have done a significant damage for your life. Does it make sense? Yep. But the problem is people don't see the answer. And a few people in the world who are enlightened have the answer, see the answer, and they want to give it to you, but you don't want to listen. Why? Because I've been doing this, telling everybody what to do and how to do it for so many years, yet they're too busy. We only have this audience. They're too busy. And people are leaving because what they want is not what I'm trying to give them. So here's the fact. You have to understand that you need to know exactly what you want in your life. And then focus on how to get that. Steve Jobs didn't die because he didn't have money. He didn't have the connection. He didn't know the people who can actually help them. And he actually searched. And in that process, he was utterly, amazingly stressed, which aggravated more of his health. Up and down, in and out, all over the world for whatever the information that he was looking for to just prolong his longevity a little longer. What people don't understand, I talk to people left and right all the time. Stage 3, stage 2 of cancer, 4 of cancer. I only got 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of my life left. Wow. What I try to do to help people is not really only prolonging your life, but I literally want to add the quality to your life. And I'll give you that answer shortly. But imagine this. All the people do not know how to be healthy. Literally, I can say that. They do not know how to be healthy. Happy, let alone you do not know what that is really. And being healthy, you might say, oh, I know, but you don't. Why? Because systematically, in the whole wide world, we are programmed wrong. Now, this is literally a little mirage that everybody wants you to follow. It's not. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say this is a cup. It's a cup which holds your energy in a cup. Everybody wants that cup to be full, yet you are utilizing your energy every day. Okay, you're utilizing your energy every day, and because you're utilizing your energy, the cup of full energy is dropping down. Let's say that we're making a little holes on these cups. Then you are literally sprouting out and you're losing your energy very quickly, right? And if you try so hard to hold your energy, yet the holes are getting bigger and more, then you're draining more. Does that make sense? When you are down to a certain moment, certain level, your symptoms show up. All the information that are given to you are totally wrong. Every time you live your life in this world right now, you're draining. You're making a small hole, bigger hole, and everything. The gigantic hole that you usually make by mistake is thinking that I gotta make lots of money to support my lifestyle. You do not understand how this financial world works. Everybody's working so hard, yet you're wasting it all, including your life. Everybody has a little goal in life, and I call it the lamps. We have the lamps everywhere. And everybody thinks because it's so bright, you are following it. Oh, that's the destination that I need to go. They're following. That lamp stands for very easy stuff, longevity. Everybody wants to live long. I don't care whether you're the king or the beggar, they want to live long. True?
Yes.
Of course. Now, A stands for appearance. Everybody wants to look good. That's why we do what we do. You know, we take a shower, we brush our hair, we wear our makeup, and the tattoos and earrings and everything to look good and special. Now, M is for money. That money, everybody would do anything and everything, even cheating on yourself, in order to make that little mere green stuff. P is for position. Everybody wants to be recognized, so I want that position. I want to be the CEO, CFO, the president, the chairman. Really? And S stands for spouse or sex, whatever you call it. They'll do, imagine, you were younger once. Wasn't that big chunk of your desire when you were a teenager was to go out with someone beautiful so you can be happy and all? But now you are smart enough to understand this lamps is nothing but just something in the air. Don't follow that, because if you really are centered, then you're going to have that great answer, the master key of everything that no one else will argue about. Like I said, in order to be happy, healthy, and be helpful to other people, you gotta have something to share with people. Imagine that you are a billionaire and you are dying and you only got about a week in your lifetime. What are you gonna do with it? Think about it, right? Yet, let's say that you want to share all this with everyone, but you don't have anything to share. Does it make sense? You cannot give anything that you don't have. Let me ask you this. Do you love yourself to the point where you really drain, you really get all that happy hormones every time you think about yourself, your life, your purpose of life, and what you can do in this life? It's very difficult. But we can all start from a very small beginning. And that's the miracle of 1%. Just 1% out of your day, the time, think of what you can do. Because, believe it or not, your body and your life is literally equipped with all that necessity things that you can utilize in order to get the answer. So whenever you keep on asking the question, the answer will come. Why? Because every time you are asking the question, you're actually tuning up the frequencies. And when the frequency coincides with the universe, that answer will be downloaded quickly. And you cannot really stress about it. You just relax. There's so many different things that I preach to people. The bad things about your life. Actually, there are no bad things about your life, because we all created it, not knowing the truth. So basically, you have to understand that you are willing to find that answer by giving that 1% of your time and your effort every single day. But if you start tuning it up and goes, oh no, that's not what I need. Oh, I want this. Then slowly but surely, all the negativity gets away from your path. Isn't it amazing? And it's not just you, me, or anyone. Everyone has that gift. But you just do not dwell on it. You just think about it and you go, oh, it's impossible. And you just go on your life. No, that's not how you do it. Now, see, I am literally covering this variety of things that I want to give you. But it all boils down to one thing and one thing only. Let's do something constructive for the next generations, because we are just visitors. Physically, we are here right now. And ironically, we all value our body and our life and everything. But you know what? This body came from the earth. Your body has exactly the same composition as the dirt. And you're going to leave your body here. You cannot take anything up there. And if you try to take your body up there, guess what's going to happen? You're going to drop right down because your body is heavy. You cannot take anything up there. In order for you to go to heaven, you got to be light enough to float up. Even though you pray to your God and say, please send me up there because I really belong there. He will try to listen to you and help you up there by grabbing you and put you up there, but he does not have millions of arms. The moment that he lets go, you're dropped down to the bottom. Doesn't it? It totally makes sense, but here's the fact. I want each and every single one of you to start giving. And that giving really stays up there for your good karma. I don't care whether it's your time, your money, your effort, love, or whatever that you give, it doesn't just fade away. It stays up there. Sorry to say, but some part of religious groups are utilizing this for own of their favor. Oh, you give money to us and we'll hold it up there. BS. Don't believe in that. No, that's not how it works. It only makes them happy in their belly, and they get to utilize it. So some of those people who are actually living their life and preaching wrong things to the people, they're creating gigantic negative karma. So I feel sorry for them. I have one thing in common among the people who are coming to me. They always wait till the last minute. I don't know why. We always emphasize on prevention because it's 20 times stronger. Rather than waiting too long and get all that issues and you try to reverse it, that's like 20 times harder. And sometimes you don't have that time. And we call it the point of no return. Let's say that this is the cliff that you're going towards. And let's say that you have disease or illnesses. If you happen to have these diseases and illnesses, you're actually adding up on speed, going towards to the end of your life. Does it make sense? Yet a lot of people are zooming 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. Whatever the speed that you are on, there's such a thing called point of no return. At that speed, if you pass that point, there's no way that you can stop in time before you go off. Slow down. And I try to teach people how to slow down, number one. And number two, how to enjoy the scenery as you travel. So it makes you happier. But a lot of people go, oh, don't confuse me with the fact. I have to deal with my issue and I am concentrating on this. So they end up going off the cliff. So what I am here for is to help you to eliminate these issues. Now, I call it the jewel. Everybody has to have this jewel in order to make your life amazing and be beneficial to others. The jewel stands for justice. And E actually stands for energy and education because you can get energy through the education. W stands for wisdom. You gotta be wise in order to utilize all the things that you have, right? And E stands for etiquette. You gotta be very, very humble and courteous and also have good manners towards people. You have to learn how to treat people, how to communicate with people. L obviously stands for love. You gotta have the love towards other people and the next generations. In order to get this jewel, a lot of people are searching for it at the wrong places. They start wrong. Believe it or not, about 600 years ago, jewel, remember that? Now, all that jewel except the energy and education, in Korea, in Seoul, 600 years ago, they had built 4 gates around the castle. And they named it the Gate of Justice, Gate of Wisdom, Gate of Love, and Gate of Etiquette. Isn't it crazy? And right in between, right in the center, there goes the energy and education, which happens to be the palace where the king lived. Now, believe it or not, we had these amazing enlightened people who already knew the master key of anything and everything that you're looking for. But they weren't ready to really act it out. How would you like to be the one where all the next generations will really worship your name and you? You're going to leave your face, you're going to leave your legacy on the wall of fame where everybody will really appreciate. That is what I'm building. That's number 1% of miracle. In about 3 years, I'm opening up a restaurant, but it's not just a restaurant. That restaurant will serve you the food to heal your body. I'm only serving soup, tea, and snacks in order to really heal your body. Because you have no idea how easy it is to heal your body. The answers are so easy and simple, but you gotta do it on a consistent basis. I teach people, be set for life. You gotta learn how to breathe, how to eat, how to sleep, how to exercise, and how to think, which is the most important thing. Then you will literally be set for life. Everybody comes to me and goes, how can you be so serene all the time, happy all the time, and doing all that wonderful thing all the time? Well, because I'm set for life. I'm set for life physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Why? Because I give so much. I'm not so cocky about giving. It's just fun to share what I know. Let me ask you this. How would you like to be disease-free? How would you like to be toxin-free? Fat-free? How would you like to decrease your body by 10 inches within a year? How is it possible? Because the answers are always there. But let me ask you this. You got to be consistent about doing that. Right? Okay, now imagine this. The reason why you're not a millionaire is because you think differently than I do. Now, have you ever heard of anyone who needed a heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney, sometimes eye, sometimes finger, sometimes anything, right? Now, how much would a liver transplant cost out there right now? A lot, right? If you were to do a little surgery like that, one or two is well over $1 million, believe it or not. And the suffering that you have to go through, plus the time that you lose out of your longevity and everything, that costs a lot of money. Now, even, forget about that, even working in your life, you're doing it wrong. I usually tell people, I want you to meet my girlfriend, Leslie. Her name is Leslie, last name. Now, a lot of people work through this system of Leslie because they don't know much. Leslie stands for L, laziness. They're always working very hard throughout the whole life, every day. E stands for early bird. They know a little better than the lazy person, and they're very outgoing, and they try to go out and tackle all these issues and make more money. Early birds. And next one, he thinks that he's the smart one, so he really utilized the whole system to make more money. But these three people, they always have to work physically in their lifetime. Does it make sense? And what they make is very little. Next bunch, L-E-E. L stands for lucky. Lucky people, they don't really work hard. They just become lucky. All of you can be lucky all the time whenever you're tuned up. I mean, how would you like to be shown up at a place and goes, oh my gosh, I'm the millionth person walking through the door, so I'm getting in free? That's a lucky person. People get lucky left and right all the time. I get lucky left and right all the time. Do you know why and how I get lucky all the time so easily? Because I know people. I happen to go somewhere and here I am having a little issue. For example, let's say I'm trying to check in my bag and it happened to be a little heavier than I expected. And all of a sudden the person right in front of me goes, oh my God, I've heard of you. Let me check that in for free.
I'm tired, how are you?
All of a sudden, here I am having a meal at a restaurant, enjoying it, and I'm about to pay. And the waitress comes to me and goes, "Oh, your bill is already paid by that gentleman over there." Why is it that I always get lucky? Because, have you ever heard of the term called what goes around comes around? It's never what comes around, part of it I'll give it away. What you give and take, you never take something before you give. Does that make sense? Whenever you're born, when you are getting out of that mommy's womb, and you're gonna breathe out and empty out all your lungs before you breathe in for the first time in your lungs. Does that make sense? What people don't understand is the miracle of giving works amazingly. So I used to give and give all the time, right? But now I'm a little wiser. I don't just give, because sometimes giving creates negative effect. Like you are giving it to beggars. Whenever you are giving it anything to those people out there, you are literally condemning them and putting them at that position forever. So stop doing that. And stop. Now, I call it save your face. Save your face. You know that term, right? Don't do anything to lose your face. Okay? Don't do anything shameful, embarrassing, because you will lose your reputation. Now, F stands for fear. A. Now, imagine this. A lot of people get angry about many things. They get upset about things. If you show your anger, that shows that you are not really serene inside. You can be very easily agitated. Does that make sense? So don't show ever the anger. No fear, no anger. No C. Never ever complain about anything. Ever. Why? Because the moment that you complain, your complaining, number one, is because your expectation was higher than what you deserve. Don't complain about anything and everything. Even about a hair in your dish. Or even about anything ever. Stop complaining. Why? Because if you stop this, your life changes automatically. And last C actually stands for E is being envying someone. Never ever envy anyone, because they do deserve what they are getting. So if you understand this, well, you can say S too. But then again, the first F I told you about is fear, but the worse than fear is expecting something free. Never ever get anything free. Always give something when you receive anything. Why? Because, like I said before, that karma, it remembers, it's telling everything. It is adding and minus everything. Now imagine this. Let's say that I have a book about this thick. And the switch that I want to turn on for happiness and health and helpfulness is only about that much away. But if I were to use that little book to get up a little higher, I can turn that on, right? But imagine that book. You are writing it. You are creating it. If your book is about this thick, it'll be much easier because you can get higher places. But if your book is so thin, you won't be able to reach that far. But imagine this. Every time you are doing something good for other people, you're adding a page. Every time you do something bad, you're actually taking a page away. So you're getting thinner. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Remember that. If you forget about everything that I just have said, just remember that. Remember that book of yours. Because your book, you are making it. When you make that book thick enough, you can reach anywhere. So, understanding that, my job here is to make you really appreciate everything, happy, healthy, and be helpful. My slogan, there's only one. Make this world a paradise. Not for you, but for next generations. And that I've been preaching that for more than 20 years. And slowly but surely, I'm getting up there. Soon enough, you're going to hear this group of people called SLIM. I'm not talking about the slimness of the body, but SLIM stands for selfless. Ism movement. It's a movement. Do something for others, and it'll come right back to you 10, 100-fold. And do that. Doesn't matter what other people do. What you do counts. But what you do will make yourself much better. So, being what I am, I have a few goals that I try to achieve. I teach people how we can come together. Now, being what I am, my children are well fed. Psychologically, emotionally, physically. And I do take them around the world because I want to show them the world, and that literally is the best ever education in the world. Because you learn a lot of different culture, language, people, and everything about human life. Right? So, I am going to create this environment so your children and my children can travel around the world with only less than $20 a day. That's including transportation, sleeping, eating, and whole 9 yards. And if you run out of money, you work at my restaurant, my healing center, and my lodge. And you make enough money to travel more for another month. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I want you to do that for a year or 2 or 3 or more. Because by doing that, trust me, I didn't have my wisdom now that I had if I did not travel. That is what every parent wants their children to be and do. Isn't it? That's exactly what we are creating. But here's the fact. We cannot just emphasize on that part, but we need to also support the part that other people want to enjoy, such as horseback riding, boat riding, or RVing, camping, vacation, and all 9 yards. With this group of people, we're going to create all that for free for our members. Now, how often can you, or have you ever taken your children for a beautiful boat ride in the ocean, or on a lake, or horseback riding, or RVing, or whatever? But isn't it so obvious that if I had all those, I will not charge my brothers and sisters to utilize those because I have it anyway. It's sitting in my garage. Does it make sense? That's exactly what we are creating. And we are only asking 1%. 1% of your time, of your donation, of your anything. 1%. And if you want to participate in that, please do so. Because we always need volunteers and people that we can help out. Isn't it amazing? That right there is a paradise. Because I have heard and seen amazing, great parents, yet they cannot take their children for a boat ride or horseback riding because it's just simply too expensive. When I was living in Korea, I had a great backyard with the house and overlooking the beautiful river, all for free for them to come and enjoy all the things that I have out there. It is not for us to get rich, happy, and healthy. That is so selfish. But if you look at a bigger picture, you gotta be that in order to support that idea. That's exactly why I want you, need you, and we need to stick together. Because whatever the horrible graffiti that they have drawn in your mind, we need to eliminate that and start clean. And we can actually start erasing a lot of those and making your canvas clean and free again. And then we're going to rewrite all this wonderful energy right onto that. And I call that M.O.M. But besides of that, I have a few products that I offer you also. Learn about it, and if you choose to, you can try it, you can utilize it, you can do it. But the answers are so easy and simple, and I'll provide that to you.